Okay, so I'm gonna start with moisturizer and primer. Just gonna go ahead and prep my face. Okay, so now moving on to foundation, I'm using the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. This is their matte finish one, but it's more like a soft matte, so it's not gonna leave your face feeling super dry. And it's in the shade Vanilla. For concealer today, I'm using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. This one is in the shade Bare Neutral. I'm gonna apply some right underneath my eyes, corner of my eyes, my chin, underneath my lips, my forehead, and down the bridge of my nose, like such. And now I'm gonna take the Juvia's Place contour stick. This one is in the shade Madagascar, and I'm gonna use it to frame my face. I'm gonna do my forehead, my cheekbones, my chin, my jawline, and on the sides of my nose. There you go. And I'm gonna blend out the concealer with my beauty sponge. So now I'm gonna go in with the brush to blend out the contour shade, and this brush is by Urban Studio. And I'm just gonna blend everything out. Now I'm gonna go back in with my beauty sponge to clean up and blend everything else out. Okay, and I'm gonna set everything with setting powder, and I'm using for setting powder, I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills translucent powder. And I like to set the same areas where I applied my concealer. So it would be under my eyes, my chin, on the center of my forehead, and down the bridge of my nose. And the rest of my face, I like to set it with the compact powder. And today I'm going to use the MAC Cosmetics Mineralized Skin Finish Powder. This one is in the shade Medium. And I'm going to apply it with the fluffy brush. This is just a powder brush for your face. Okay, so I'm gonna let my under eye set for a little longer, and I'm gonna move on to bronzer and blush for now. For bronzer today, I'm using the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in the shade Butter. And I'm going to be using the Morphe M437 brush. And I'm going to apply to the same areas where I applied my contour shade. So my forehead, my cheekbones, my jawline. And I'm going to dust off the excess baking powder from the rest of my face. So for blush today, I'm using the Wet n Wild Keep It Peachy blush. And I'm going to use the Morphe M530 brush. Okay, so now for highlighter, I'm using the Bombshell Lashes Be Sweet Glow Highlighter Palette. And I like to mix these two shades over here. And I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills A23 brush to apply my highlighter. Okay, now to set everything, I'm gonna take the Morphe times Jeffree Star Set and Refresh Mist. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and prime my eyelids. I'm using the MAC Cosmetics Paint Pot. This is the Morphe M423 brush. Now I'm going to grab the Real Techniques brush. This is the base shadow brush, and I'm going to use it to blend out my primer. Now I'm going to set it with setting powder, and I'm going to use the same setting powder I use for my face. So it's the Anastasia Beverly Hills one. And I'm using a fluffy brush. This one is the Morphe M504 brush. Okay, so for my eyebrows today, I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills DipBrow Pomade in the shade Medium Brown. And I'm going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Brush. This is the number 12. Okay, so I like the natural shape and thickness of my brows, so all I do is fill them in, but I first line them up. So I start on the bottom. And right now I'm basically just tracing them. And then I move on to the top and I do the same thing. Okay, so now I'm gonna start to fill them in. And whatever's left on the brush, I use it for the inside. Now I'm just gonna brush it off. There you go. And I like to finish it off with a brow gel. I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Tinted Brow Gel, and this one's in the shade Caramel. Perfect. Okay, so now moving on to eyeshadow. Today I'm going to be using two of the Araceli Beauty palettes. I'm going to be using the Azteca Eyes palette. This is what it looks like. And I'm also going to be using La Catrina palette. This is the one they recently just came out with. This is what it looks like. And I'm going to start off by picking up this shade right here. I'm going to be using the Morphe M441 brush. And now I'm going to pick up this shade over here. Now I'm going to pick up this copper shade over here. And I'm going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills A3 brush. And I'm going to use this shade over here. And I'm using the same brush, so the Anastasia Beverly Hills A3 brush. And I'm going to apply it right here. Now I'm going to use the Araceli gel eyeliner. This one is in the shade Canela, and I'm going to use it to line my waterlines. I'm going to go back to this brown chocolate shade over here. And I'm going to use the Morphe E18 brush. Okay, so moving on to lips, I'm using the LA Girl lip liner. This one is in the shade Natural Cream. And I'm gonna grab the Anastasia Beverly Hills matte lipstick. This one is in the shade Nude. I hope you guys enjoyed today's look.